Hey, how's it going? Alex here from IdeaSpot, and today we are looking at Astra 2.0. And some of you might already know Astra is my favorite free WordPress theme, and now with Astra 2, they've made it a lot faster and quicker to build pages with. So that's pretty good news. And if you haven't used it before, that's fine. They've probably made it a little easier. So I think probably the best way to do a review of this is just to go through and build a quick little web page using Astra 2.0. The main changes are just to the theme customizer. So that you'll notice the theme customizer has better, more logical menus, and the menus will load quicker, and the previews of your page will load quicker. So your workflow will be quicker, and you'll get work done more easily. So let's just go ahead and have a try, shall we? So I've got a fresh WordPress install. To get Astra, you just go to Appearance and Themes, and we're going to want to add the new theme. Let's search for Astra in there. There we go. And there we are. So install. That'll take a minute to install. Now it's installed, so we'll hit activate. And now we can just go to Astra starter sites here, and it'll say select your page builder. We're going to look at using Elementor. Hit next. And Astra comes with loads of free starter websites, so it's all pre-designed stuff that you can use. So in the free version, let's have a look at what we've got. We've got 49 free designs to choose from. So today I think we'll use the agency starter site. That's a really nice, clean and basic starter site that you could use for a lot of different kinds of websites. So let's have a click, and we just have to hit import site. And this is going to take a couple of minutes, but it is going to include all the plugins and all the customizer settings, all the content and widgets. So everything's done in a couple of clicks, and you'll have a basic website up and running. So let's just wait for that to install. Okay, now that's all done. That took 5 minutes, which is a little longer than normal, but anyway, let's click view the site. And here we are. We've got a really nice, clean agency business type website. So this would be good for any freelance professional or any professional type business at all. So you can have a portfolio, some clients, your teammates. You can really customize this however you want with your page builder. But anyway, we've got our nice little clean header menu up here. So first thing we will do is let's work on the headers and the footers. So we will want to get to our theme customizer. So we just hit customize. I might open that in a new window actually. So let's see this new customizer loading up. And so we've got our menu down here on the left, and the options that we can work with in our preview have these little pencils. They'll shortcut you to the settings. So let's start with the logo there. So we hit that little pencil, and there we go. We can just remove the logo because we don't have a logo at the moment. And instead of having a logo, we could just put a little tagline perhaps. So you could display this site tagline there, and you'll get, I think it'll pop up there. Yeah, we could have a tagline, or we could display the site title. I've just called it Astra 2 because we're doing a preview of Astra 2. Might look better with a capital A. There we go. So anything that you've changed and you're happy with, always just hit publish, and that will save any of your changes and push them live onto your website. Okay, the next thing we can do is customize our header menu. So let's hit this little pencil and we'll see what we've got. So there's a few things we can do here. we've got the last item in the menu, which is this request quote button. So this can be changed to a lot of different choices. You can have a search icon. I quite like having this search icon that lets you, a user can click on that and it'll open a little search bar. They can search your website or your blog and find things that they're looking for. You can have a button like we saw that can link to any part of your website that you want. You can put in a bit of custom HTML, or you can put a widget there as well. So if you want to say social media icons, something like that, you could install whatever you like in that widget spot and link away. I think I like that search icon, to be honest. Let's go with that. Now, to actually change the options in our menu, let's go back to the main menu. And let's look at the actual menus item. And we've got the top navigation menu. And that gives us our home, about, services, blog, and contact. So let's say we didn't want the services page, for example, or we wanted to add a new page. We can click add items, and that lets you delete anything we want or add any page from your website onto the menu. So once you've done that, click publish. Now let's look at our footer. So scroll down, we can see this is a fairly detailed footer. To start working on that, let's start with that logo, shall we? So we've got footer widget area 1, and this is, click down there and you've got a footer bar. So if we go back, we've got footer widgets and footer bar. So let's look at the widgets. You can just disable that whole area if you want a more simple footer. I kind of really prefer having a more simple thing. And then if I want to add detail, I'll just build it into the page builder. So I've just disabled that large footer area. Now I've just got a nice little footer down there with our copyright information and some information about the theme. We can customize that very easily. Just click on the pencil and it gives us the copyright current year, the site title. We don't need to say that powered by there. We could change it to anything we want, or you could just leave that blank. I think that's all pretty easy to deal with. Just hit publish. So if we actually go back and look at our website, we can hit reload. We'll see that this request quote button is going to be gone. We're going to have our little search icon. This will be a bit more simplified, and our main footer is going to be a bit more simple as well. So that is all looking pretty good. Now, if we want to go and actually change the content on the page, let's go and edit with Elementor. So I'm going to open that in a new tab as well. It's always good to have a tab with your customizer and your page builder and your website loaded, so you can just flip between them and see how things are progressing. So let's just wait for Elementor to load up. So basically in the Elementor page builder, your page is going to be made up of these sections with this blue tab. So that's our top section. We've got our next section here with this how can we help you. We've got a portfolio section here, and we've got our client section. You can delete any of these really easily. Just hit the X and that you'll delete the section. You can move sections around just by, say I want my team above the clients, you can just drag it and drop it. And with any luck, there it goes. It's just moved. So a lot of this stuff is drag and drop. You can take a picture and move it over here. Control Z to undo. Yeah, pretty easy to use. Let's go ahead and have a look at changing this background image. So you'd obviously want to change this picture to something more suited to your own project. So click the tab, and here we've got our background image. It's under style. We've also got layout, style, and advanced, but under style, we've got our image. Hit choose image. We can look at our media library. You can upload images to your media library, or you can just have a look at what's already in there. Let's have a look at that one maybe. So there we go. There's a picture of a guy writing something. You want to make sure you use high quality images, especially for these large heading style backgrounds. If you want to find some really nice high quality images, I just go to pexels.com. And so if I wanted to say writing, maybe I could get a photo of someone writing just by searching for it here. That's pretty cool. All this stuff is free download. We want the large size. We don't need the full original resolution. Large is fine. It'll go ahead and download, and then you can upload that into your own website fairly easily. Let's go ahead and show you how to upload. Actually, that might be a nice thing to do. So we've got our image that we want to change. We hit choose image, upload files. Let's get our file, and we can just drag it in, the one we just downloaded from Pexels. We can go ahead and upload it into our media library, and then we hit insert, and that's as easy as you like, really. We can see it doesn't show up too well with this color because the old background was a very light background. This background's a bit dark, so that's no problem. We can really just fix that up with a bit of an overlay. Let's go to background overlay and choose a nice white color overlay. There we go. And let's make the opacity a bit different, shall we? Here we go. We just have to change the opacity, and that'll make our white. We can make it fully white by just changing it to 1, but we want to let that background show through a little bit. So there we go. That looks okay. So equally, if you wanted to use white text with a dark background, you could use a black overlay. So let's just hit update and save all that. So that's one way of building a site. Just modify the starter site with your own images and your own text. You can change the text just by clicking on it and put any project you like in here. So any of this can be changed. Just hit update when you're happy with the changes. And while we're here, we might cover how to deal with buttons. So we've got this more info button. Not sure if it's linked anywhere yet. Let's click on it. It's linking to our about section, so we could actually link it to wherever we like. Imagine if we wanted to link it to our contact page. So let's go and get the link for the contact page there. Copy the link address. We could use the right click and copy the link address. Paste it in. That'll put your link to your contact page, and hit update. And now, whenever your user clicks that button, it'll take you to the contact page. We can see down there in the link preview, that's where it's going to go. It's easy to make new buttons. We hit this little menu in the top right there. You've got all the elements you can think of. Buttons are just a normal element, and you can pop the button in as you like, and you have to style it to get it to look the way you want, but same process. You pop your link into the link menu there. You've got all your style, text, border options, background, hover options. That one hovers to blue. So all of those things are changeable in that menu. Let's delete that little green one. Okay, just hit update. Also, if you really like the design of a particular section, you can just go ahead and you can copy it, and you can paste it in anywhere you like. So I'll just make a new section here and paste it in, and there we go. Just change the background again, change the text, change the button, and you've got another section that matches the design of your page. So that's a nice way to build a website where you've got a nice uniform, clean design. So you can go ahead and remove that by clicking the X and delete the section. Now, besides using the starter sites, there's pre-designed sections and their pre-designed stuff. You can go ahead and use one of Elementor's sections. So all we have to do that is hit the template button, and Elementor will load up. And even in the free version, you get quite a few free blocks. So click on blocks. Let's have a look at maybe the portfolio blocks, and some of them have pro. You won't get those in the free version, but the ones that don't have Pro, you can use them straight away. So let's pop this one in, shall we? Click, check out our work. It'll take a few seconds to import that into your website, but in it goes. And the nice thing is it inherits the typography and style from your theme. So all these things look pretty decent already as soon as you drop them in. All you've got to do is click the image, choose a new image out of your library. There we go. We can pop that guy in and choose an image out of the library. Maybe pop the girl in there too. The sizes don't really line up there. Maybe this guy needs to be this lady. There we go. Anyway, you could change this however you like, but all those free blocks in Elementor are a really quick way of building up a website. So that's probably the second way I like to design sections. And the third way, you can design a section from scratch easily enough. Just add a new section in, and we want to add, I like to do 1 or 2 columns when I do sections. Otherwise it gets a bit too busy. And we've got 2 columns here. We can pop elements from this menu. Maybe I want an image here, and we can just choose anything out of our image library. Here's a cup of coffee. And what else should I pop in? We could put in a heading, and let's make it centered. And let's put some more, maybe text below. And maybe put a button below that. I'd like that button to be centered, so let's click edit the button and move it to the center. That's all pretty good. The column, I'm okay. It's all lined to the top of the column, but I'd like it to be vertically aligned to the middle. There we go, and that lines up really good. So just a few seconds, I've designed a nice little section there. It all matches up with our design fairly well. I don't really like the green button. What I could do is go and get the button that's already been designed here nicely, copy it, and we can just paste it in. There we go. Delete this old one with the right click. That's a nice one. Same thing, put it in the center. We can change this to maybe go to the blog page, and then just go ahead and link it to your blog page. Easy as. So that's just an example of how quick you can build up a website using Elementor. So let's just go back to our page and see what we've got now. We'll hit reload. Okay, we've got our new background, our new little button. I think I dropped that portfolio thing in. I made that new little section just to demonstrate. Let's have a look at the blog section, because that's a little bit different. So click blog. The only thing you don't get for free, or one of the main things you don't get for free in Elementor, is a blog editor. So we just have to use the default WordPress editor to change our blog page. The nice thing is the starter site's already given us a pretty nice blog page design. They've given us a couple different layouts. They've got this big grid or this other kind of grid. Let's just go through how to customize that. All we have to do is click edit page, and this will bring up the standard WordPress editor. It's called Gutenberg, named after the old printing press. That's why it's called WordPress. I found that out by mistake, looking at an old art exhibition about printing presses. Just a bit of trivia. Scrolling through here, we can see that we've got this style blog, it's a post grid, and this style blog is a post grid as well, but they're a little bit different. Let's just stick with this one, shall we? We've got a little excerpt, heading, and a button to read more, so I don't mind that. Usually you just choose the style that you like from the starter site and then delete the one that you don't need. So click on the section. These little 3 dots give you more options, and we can remove the block. I don't really like how now it's overlapping the blog. So let's try and put some space in there. Let's add a block, and all we really want is I just want some spacing. So formatting, let's click layout elements. There we've got our spacer. So there's our spacer. We can, it's already given us enough space, but the spacer setting there will let us choose how much space you want. So let's do 200 or 500. That's too much. Let's 200 pixels looks okay. 150 or 100. Let's go for 100. Click update. The starter site's given us these demo posts. WordPress gives you this little hello world post as well. To change those, we just go to posts and look at all posts. I'm going to open that in a new tab. Let's trash the hello world post. It just gives us a better look at the layout, because these ones have been designed with nice feature images, but Hello World didn't have one. So let's hit reload. We might get a slightly better preview of what we're working with. So that's all good. We can change the text in the heading to be our blog and write whatever you like. We can change that background image easily enough. Section background, the background there type is an image, but we could just have it as a color, perhaps, if we wanted it just a gray background or a pink background. Whatever, really. The image was fine. You can replace the image with your own image, but that's just a matter of preference. With our post grid, we can look at the options for that. It's got 2 columns. You could try 3 columns. I like 2 columns. You could just do 1 is really good as well. 2 is kind of matches this design. Usually when you're using pre-designed stuff, it saves time just to keep things how they are, really. The number of items, it's only going to show 4 blog posts. You could boost that up to as many as you like, up to 100 blog posts, and have it scrolling down as you like. I'll just hit update. And then when you make a new post, it'll pop up as the next post in there, because it's in descending order by date. Let's go to posts. Click all posts. And let's add a new post. Adding a post it's pretty easy. It's not much different from sending an email or making a document in Word. You just do your title. Right, whatever you want to blog about, and then it's just a matter of looking at your document and changing the settings. So the featured image is probably the key. You want a nice featured image so it has a nice look when you load it up on that blog page. So featured image. Besides that, you could have discussion, allow comments. Maybe you don't want comments, you don't want pingbacks. You could turn those off. You could have a sidebar or no sidebar. I really like no sidebar. And layout just from the customizer. Let's hit publish. It'll ask me to double confirm that, and let's view the post and see what that looks like. So there we go, test post. We haven't set up categories. We could set up categories, or we could just get rid of that little metadata if we wanted to get rid of it, but that's pretty clean. Let's have a look at how to customize the look of the blog page, because that is in our theme customizer. If we go back, we still have our customizer tab. Let's go back and see what the blog menu looks like now. Hit blog and single post. Single post is default width. Let's actually load the blog up so we can see what the preview looks like live. Look at our test post. And here we go. So we can the category, we can get rid of the category by just turning off that I. You can turn the comments on or off. You could even turn the featured image on or off. But I like having that featured image. Same with the title. But I think that's fine. Let's hit publish. So that sort of wraps up how to do blogging. And the only other thing I want to cover is maybe the contact page. So let's open that up. The contact page is just going to be like any other page on your website, except it's going to have this contact form. Now this contact form is run by a separate plugin called WP Forms, and you need to do a little bit of setup to get it to work. So to do that, we just go to our dashboard. Let's go dashboard, and let's open that in a new tab. I love just opening new tabs. Here we go, WP Forms, and these are how the forms on your website work. We've got a contact form for our contact page. So all we have to do is click on edit. And look at settings, notifications, and this is where it tells WordPress where to send our form information. So we want to send it, by default, it'll send it to the admin email you used when you installed your WordPress site, but you could change it to your other email at gmail.com. That's all good. And the from email is really important to get this bit right, because otherwise it might not work. You want it to match the domain that your site is installed from. So I've installed it on this test domain, Astra 2.0. So let's just say it's from WordPress Astra 2.0. So then at least when WordPress sends out this form email to your email at gmail.com, Gmail doesn't think it's a spam email because it says it's where it is really coming from, this website. So make sure you do that. Hit save. But that's all there is to it, really. We can go back to our contact page, hit reload, and when people come to your site, all they have to do is put their name, their email, and some message, and then they can send you some request for consultation. You could ask for quotes or any kind of contact form that you like. You could pop in there. So I think that about covers it. That's all you really need to set up a basic website. You can have a website with a blog, a home page, a contact form, and you could probably quite easily set up a small business just using these few steps. And that really only took a few minutes. So if you like that, make sure you hit subscribe, and let me know if you've got any questions in the comments or what you'd like to look at for my next video. Love to get your feedback. Thanks, and I'll see you next time.